The latest sport now with Granada Goes Extra.
Hello there, no Premiership games today and quite a few called off in the Nationwide League as well. It's all down to international commitments, of course, but we do have some fabulous goals for you. We've got some farcical ones as well, almost 30 in all. Well, our only First Division game today was at Boundary Park. Well, it's been a long time coming, but tonight Oldham can celebrate their first three-pointer of the season. The commentator is David Smith.
Now Beresford. Ormond Droid's desperate for the ball on the far post. That's where the ball is aimed. Ormond Droid! Caught that again. With their backs to the wall, it's aimed towards Ormond Droid! Ormond Droid's coming across to the near post. That's where it's aimed. He gets a good flick on Banger if he can turn! There's the third! Foyle couldn't get his head to it. In by Tankard again. Still not away. Comes to Guppy. Tankard goes for the shot. It's a good one and a great save by Kelly.
Well, Tranmere Rovers won for the first time in 7 attempts last night, but I'm afraid promotion teams aren't in the business of having to score 4 times to scrape a win. It doesn't work like that, not in the country's most competitive division. It was seconds out when Ivano Bonetti's defence-bewildering cross had John Aldridge 1-0 written all over it. But it was Graham Branch who slid into what is normally Aldridge-occupied territory. Branch, the elder cousin of Everton's 17-year-old whiz kid Michael, then embarked on a run which is fast becoming his own trademark, and which ended in the most magnificent of the night's 7 goals. But Tranmere do have a knack of spoiling their own knees up. New boy Andy Thorne's indecision was compounded by Danny Coyne's rush of blood, and the collision was a write-off in terms of communication. Into the second half, substitute Gary Jones just got in first and probably has the stub marks to prove it. Jones was then the victim of a dodgy handball decision, and Alan McLaughlin's penalty beat Coyne for power and precision. Basic defending has never been one of Tranmere's strong points, and let's face it, there was plenty of space in the stands to put the ball with only 4 minutes left. John Aldridge described it afterwards as schoolboy stuff. In fact, the marking out of 10 wasn't that good. So it was left to Aldridge to assume the role of Braveheart as opposed to his usual one of lethal weapon, going in where it hurts and leaving Bonetti to nick the points. Cue the Ravanelli rap as the crowd of only 5,000 were doing their own disappearing act. For the neutrals, though, excellent entertainment. Well, few of the leading group played today. Wolves lost, so Tranmere move up to 4th. And at the bottom, unfortunately, despite their first win of the season today, Oldham still remain propping up the rest. Well, Burnley, 5 without a win. Stockport, on the other hand, 6 wins on the bounce, averaging 3 a game. But cometh the hour, and not before time, cometh the man Burnley paid a record transfer fee for, Paul Bounce. Here's Jonathan Parry.
Given recent results, this fixture looked every bit the away banker on the pools coupon. Stockport flying, Burnley struggling for form. But the form book was reversed in a largely one-sided first half, the home side providing all the interest in front of goal. Paul Jones making early saves from Paul Smith, and then from Kurt Nogan's sharp header. But there was nothing the county keeper could do about Paul Barnes' first half brace. The first a deft header from David Ayres' cross, well taken and equally well celebrated. That was Barnes' first goal for his new club, and his second wasn't far behind. That came just before the break. Even more convincing the header this time. Burnley in total control by half-time. The second half story was all about Paul Barnes again, this time going one better and scoring a hat-trick inside 45 minutes. Brett Angel had offered Stockport some hope on 56 minutes, but his goal was to prove only a sideshow. Barnes' second half spree started just after the hour. A great finish from Nigel Gleghorn's through ball. 10 minutes later and it was 4, courtesy of some slack defending by Stockport. Barnes this time seeking out the top corner. Andy Much did interrupt the ongoing celebrations with a goal for Stockport to make it 4-2, but by this time the Burnley fans were already in full voice. Fittingly, it was left to the crowd's new favourite to finish the match in style. Barnes showing his full repertoire, this time with a volley. An amazing performance, and little doubt whose mantelpiece the match ball will be sitting on tonight.
Well, Burnley's man of the day, unquestionably Paul Barnes. Bury's Gordon Armstrong, who got the winner against Blackpool with just 3 minutes to go. Well, a lack of goals has been the problem for Preston in recent weeks, but not today. In fact, that's their best return in the league this season. Their troubles were at the other end, and they had an early let-off. Simon Day reports.
It was red faces all round in the first 2 minutes on both sides as North End gave away a silly penalty. But Peterborough's Martin O'Connor failed to convert, just going wide of Bobby Mims. The Lily-Whites then picked up, Darren Patterson almost heading for goal. But by now the traffic was one way. Simon Clark for Posh showed how to get ahead. On 36 minutes, United won up. The first half ended on a sour note with a questioning of technique between North End's Mark Rankin and Peterborough's Steve Welsh. A yellow card for North End's new boy. Gary Peters must have changed the half-time refreshments at Deepdale. 5 minutes into the second and Lee Ashcroft scrambled a goal. Just 2 minutes later and Ashcroft the poacher was back again with a storming shot. Preston now seem to be cruising. Sub Mike Holt coming up with the third, his second in 3 appearances. But Posh remained united and pulled a second back, Scott Horton with a lovely curler. North End's crews by now seem to be back in port as Posh brought it to 3-all, Ken Charlery with the long legs. By now, North End had found a dead end as Peterborough's Zek Rowe got the winner 4 minutes from time. Despite nearly 7 minutes of extra time, the frying in the dressing room will all be done by Deepdale's boss. The final score 4-3 to the visitors.
Well, there's certainly never a dull moment with Barry Fry. They were 3-1 down last week against Wickham and won 6-3, down again today and won 4-3. Well, having won 5 out of the previous 6, Crewe were especially downcast to lose out at Bristol Rovers last night, mainly because of the nature of the goals that they conceded, having dominated most of the match. Jim Beglin.
Certainly in the first half it was Crewe who made all the running, with Dealey Adebola coming closest to a goal. But a shirt tug on the big number 9 at the vital moment led to a bad first touch and the chance was gone. Then just on the hour, Rovers loan signing Jamie Curtin scored his 4th goal in as many games with a spectacular long-range volley. And if Dario Gradi was willing to give his keeper the benefit on that one, he wouldn't have been so kind on this. Andy Gurney's drive going straight through Martin Taylor. Crewe went down 2-0.
Ooh, a couple of horror goals, weren't they? Well, now the third division's top scorers at Wigan against Brighton, who've got more problems off the pitch than on it, which is really saying something when you consider they're next to bottom. Now, if it isn't Graham Lancashire that scores, it's Graham Jones. Wigan winning by 1-0. Mark Alderton.
Second to bottom, Brighton hurried and hassled third-placed Wigan in a fast and furious opening onslaught. But the Latics dug in deep and weathered the storm with some stout defending, helped by some poor Brighton finishing. Gradually, though, Wigan got their game together, and when Graham Jones was put through on goal, his silver sure-footed shot comfortably beat Brighton's Nicky Rust, Wigan's opener and Jones's 10th of the season. Wigan were moving more fluently now and should have had a second. Jones put Graham Lancashire through, but the striker with the goal in his sight scooped his shot high and wide. Wonder what he's thinking there. A mundane second half was livened up by a well-worked Wigan free kick, and Gavin Johnson's master blast deserved a goal, but didn't get one. Wigan, though, did enough to ensure the 3 points and maintain their 100% home record.
One of the result in Division 3, Rochdale getting a point at Darlington. Let's check the top of Division 2. Bury in 3rd place, Crewe 5th after losing last night, and at the bottom, Preston now in the bottom 4, top of 3. Wigan in 3rd place despite 3 points today, and at the bottom, Rochdale just 1 off from Brighton. Well, the one goal that we haven't been able to show you at Gig Lane, Bury 1, Blackpool 0. It's just come in. Let's have a look at it. 3 minutes to go, of course. Fine move down the right-hand side, and for once, Mark Carter not on the end of it. It's Gordon Armstrong turning and hitting a pretty firm shot as well. Okay, so there we go with the goals that you haven't seen. Not that there are many of them. Will be on Sportsnet. That's Monday at 10:05. There'll be a recap of all the other thrillers today. Bye.